Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I just thought that I would take part in the In Your Wildest Dreams book tag that I recently saw a video for on Triumphal Reads. Apparently, this is a tag that is created by Heather Reads. I'll link her channel below along with her rules. I still had to watch her original video, but I had a few minutes, or I have a few minutes, so I figured I'll go ahead and do my own video and then watch hers when I have another chance. It's a little bit of free time again. Anyway, to start with the tag, so the first question says, asks about your fantasy time and place to read a book. Fantasy time and place. I've always liked the idea of things like little nooks and crannies, like the idea of window seats, even though that would never really work for me personally. I used to enjoy reading in a little when I was a kid, there was this little reference section in the base library, and it no one ever went there. It was just a kind of quiet, darkish room, and I used to lay out on the floor and read books there. Usually I'd take like an Agatha Christie with me, or I would actually even read the cliff notes of things that would happen to be there, because that was the reference section. Now, that was when I was a kid, but I don't know, I kind of have a soft spot for that kind of quiet location surrounded by books. I just realized that I'm really blown out with light here. Is that better? It's a little less blown out. Okay. Because I don't usually record on this side during the day, and we have a window right here where my dad has a bunch of plants and everything. Anyway. Okay, so your fantasy personal library, or your personal library if you have attained your fantasy. I would just love to have limitless room for books, because I definitely currently don't have that. Like, I would love to have all four walls books, but also like where it meets the, because I only have space for myself for in a room, but if it would be like the whole room, and then also like one of those beds that has the headboard that also has books, even though I could totally see being crushed by books that way. Maybe like a little something to, like a door or something that could be latched so books don't follow me in my sleep. But I kind of like that. And then if I could have a room that was, I could know was just my books, I would love that as well. And again, all walls, like surrounded by bookshelves, or lined with bookshelves, beautiful wood, preferably dark wood, but that does tend to close in a room. Kind of like the feeling of dark wood though. Anyway, so that kind of thing would be really nice. Imagine you have decided to build a bookshop. What would you call it? Would it sell new or secondhand books? Would it sell anything else? What features would you want in that shop? So, I was thinking, this is kind of because I saw Justin from Triumphal Reads. I saw what he and his friend Tim, I saw the order of their questions and everything. So while they were answering theirs, I kind of thought of my own answers. So I was thinking something to the effect of, oh gosh, something like a great yarn, or something like that. a yeah, something that is cozy yarn, maybe a cozy yarn. And it would have like, I'm thinking like old fashioned woodcut sign, where they used to in old days have something coming out, and you'd have the wood sign hanging from like a chain. I don't feel like you see that often anymore, and uh, then you would have like the kind of wood carving into the sign, and would have like um, something with yarn and books, um, something like that. And yeah, that's kind of what I think would be kind of cool. And I would probably, I think I would do a mix of new and secondhand books, um, because particularly for things that are, if there's anything like if you cover, well, I would want to have like the newer books that'd be out on different historical topics, like some university texts that might have just come out. It would be kind of cool to sell those, as well as some medical books, so that kind of thing. You want to have it up to date. You don't want anything that's too old. But I do love the smell of secondhand books, and I've always liked, we had a bookstore downtown. I think it's possibly closed now. But they used to have like a cat that would wander and like sit on people's laps and stuff when they would read. And something like that would be cool. I mean, it would be nice to have an area that people who don't like cats might be able to sit down and look through books, but also an area where if people want to, the cat will wander and say hi. So I would also like kind of a, not quite a reading room, but a place where people could peruse the books, glance through what they're interested in, preferably if they've already purchased that book. So that way there'd be a little bit of something to keep the bookstore going. But I would like a little room where people could talk and knit, because I would also want to have yarn there. And if I was to do something like that, I would want to have it with my mom, who is also my co-host for the knitting and crocheting podcast that we have. So we'd have yarn. She dyes yarn, and I write crochet and knit patterns. Haven't done that at all this year, but yeah, we'd then sell her hand-dyed yarns as well as other yarns, and patterns and such to go with the books. And oh, maybe some tea would be nice too. So and kind of like that nice cozy atmosphere with a lot of cozy chairs and things like that, but also like in the little reading and slash knitting group kind of room, there would be a table if people wanted to sit down around the table and knit, crochet, have a little bit of tea while they're either glancing through their books or knitting and crocheting, but also an area where people could just sort of sit around in a circle in nice comfortable chairs and talk. So something like that. So one person, not a Booktube creator, this is a new question. One person, not a Booktube creator, whom you could have. Okay, I guess the question is, who is the one person, not a Booktube creator, with whom you can have a good conversation about books? If you don't know a person like this, who do you know that you wish would become a reader so that you could talk books with them? Well, part of the reason that I started this Booktube channel is that people's eyes glaze over when I talk about the books I'm interested in, because no one is interested to the extent that I am in the books that I read. So, honestly, to have anyone who would be a little bit more interested, so that way I'm not completely boring whoever it is that I'm talking to. Preferably, I don't know, I'd like to be able to share a little bit more of it with my mom, with her, without her feeling a little bit, just to have her, to be able to talk to her to the detail that I'd like, even though I know that that probably isn't completely fair to ask. But yeah, I kind of like that. Um, I don't get a lot of a social life anymore because I'm, for the most part, homebound. But um, if you won $1 million and you could only spend it on books or book related items, how would you spend it? Um, I would spend it on bookshelves and more books. um, there's so many different kinds of books that I want to read, but I simply don't have the space. I don't know. I'm still trying to make space for the ones that I have. So somehow magically I'd also develop space for said bookshelves. But yes, that would be something that I would love, is to have more books and bookshelves, like to the ceiling kind of bookshelves, which would be awesome. Yeah, that is the whole tag. Not the most organized, I feel, but probably because I didn't really think about all my answers completely beforehand. Anyway, if you were able to make your way through this, thank you very much. Hope that you enjoyed watching or hear my answers about this tag. And yeah, I will see you all for the next video. God bless. Bye.